Well, happy Saturday, everybody. I'd rather be home doing content. That's really what I wanted to do today. I've got like 3 videos recorded for y'all that I still need to edit a little bit and fix the sound on, because I have to sync the sound on literally every video I make. I don't know why. I think it's the camera. But anyways, I had to go work. I just didn't have a choice. So the first job I went to, super easy one, was a garbage disposal. Just had to crank it free, reset the switch on the bottom, turn it on, run some water through it. It was all good to go. And then after that, I stopped at a move out that I've got going on. And what's going on with this move out, it's a real small one and it's a real quick one. They're really leaving the place in bad shape, I think, for the next tenant. But before the first tenant was moving out, a friend of theirs knows they want to rent the place already. So they've already put in the application, and basically they just want me to do a quick patch and paint all the way through before the new tenant moves in. And what we've got going on though is a lot of big patches on some doors where they're horrible, ugly patches. It's always a bad idea when tenants try to do their own patching, because it usually costs more for me to go back and remove their bad patch and repatch it than it would have cost for me to just patch it without having to remove a bad patch or to do a lot of sanding. So what I did today, after the first job with the garbage disposal, and I took the 𝗬𝗪𝗟𝗟 today. I'm not in the pickup or the van. I took my wife's car today so I could have some AC, because I knew I didn't need a lot. So I just took some mud and went through the house to where the bigger patches were, and I basically just put a good coat on them, you know, not a coat that I'm gonna have to sand, a coat that is definitely doesn't fill the hole completely, but I just use regular joint compound for that. So then what I'm going to be doing is tomorrow, that's all going to be dry. So tomorrow I'm going to go back and do a little bit of light sanding, and then I'm going to use probably some 5-minute hot mud and get that filled in the rest of the way, finish all the touch-up paint around the rest of the house, let the 5-minute mud set and dry up real good and get all that painted, and I'll get that wrapped up. So I went by that house and did that. And then I went home, and as much as I tell y'all, I really want to be doing content today. It just feels like the right day for it. I've got so many videos in my head. I've got videos that need to be edited. I've even got some I've made on my phone over the last week or two that I just haven't had time to sit down and put a description on and make a thumbnail for and upload. But instead, I got some drawers together, because I've got 2 different properties where the drawer faces pulled off the drawer, or somehow or another the tenant screwed up the face in the drawer. So I rebuild drawers quite frequently. I think I've just kind of become the guy for that, because they seem to send me a lot of them. So I had the drawers rebuilt. I went back home, said hi to my wife, helped her put the babies down for the nap, put the drawers in the back, went and installed one. Unfortunately, I'm not getting an answer on the phone from the other one, so I'm not going to drive all the way over there if I don't know for sure that they're home to install that one. And then I've got this house here that I'm at. I did a move out, a real small move out here this last week, and the fascia is in really bad shape, and I let them know it was, and they asked me for an estimate. So I just came and essentially did a video of the entire perimeter of the fascia with a lot of close-ups on the worst areas, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this video. Number one, I'm going to send it to the property manager so that they can share it with the homeowner, because I need them to know that this one's in really bad shape. This one actually is going to need some replacement of the fascia, because there's some areas where it's completely rotten. There's just almost nothing left. And then the whole rest of the house is in such bad shape. There's almost no paint left on the fascia. There's huge cracks all the way up and down, and honestly the rot has kind of already started, but I am going to send them an option to where they can essentially get it to limp through for another 5 to 10 years. Just get enough filler on there, get some good scraping and everything done, get all the damage debris stuff off, fill the bigger cracks, and then just really get everything around the entire perimeter of the fascia, get it sealed up and painted really nice. And it's still not going to last forever, but I think they can get minimum another 5 years, maybe another 10 if we seal it up really good for them, but it's got to get done now. So that video is a twofold purpose. That video is going to be sent to the property manager to share with the homeowner, but I'm also going to send the exact same video to my fascia guy. I've got a guy who does most of my fascia jobs when I get them. His prices are, I mean, kind of high, but they're lower than mine, so who am I to say anything about it? But basically, I'm going to send the video to him. He's going to send me back an estimate for what he's going to charge me to get it all wrapped up. and then I'm going to add 27% to that estimate, maybe a little bit more than 27%. With this guy, I've learned I need a buffer, because he quite frequently, I don't do this. This guy comes back and says, hey, looks like this job's going to cost a little bit more than I thought it was going to cost. And it's not a big deal. It's not like the entire industry has some sort of ethical code that they never do that. It seems like most do, but I don't. So I usually add an extra little bit of a buffer onto that, like a $200 buffer that I get approval for, where I say, hey, I'm estimating it this much, right? Or say this is the bottom dollar. This is what I'm going to pay somebody else to do it. And then I add my 27%. And that's what I'm going to tell them I expect the cost to be. I'm going to say, hey, I'm estimating for this much. However, I need approval for this much. And the reason for that approval is that if anything goes wrong, if there's unforeseen damages, if there's just extras that we didn't think of, if something comes up, I need approval for this amount. But if we go from here to here, I will provide you with picture and video and explanations as to what it was for. And I don't ever really use those, but I always add them in. And then they're always happy, because in the end, when they see that I didn't use the extra money that I was allocated, that I was approved, that lets them know I'm an honest handyman. But especially with this one guy, and again, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just trying to give me good pricing in the beginning, so he's not accounting for a lot of what might go wrong. But I'm going to send the video to him, and he's going to be able to use that video to give me the estimate. The video, along with the square footage of the house, is going to give him the info he needs to give me a good estimate. So I just took the video, and I'm going to upload that for y'all separately, just so y'all can see sort of my communication, both with my property managers and also with the people that I sub some work out to. You'll get to see that communication as well. But I just wrapped that up. I think now I'm finally going to go home and work on some YouTube stuff. It's really, I tell you, if I felt like I wasn't going to be letting down my property managers by just not getting out and working today, keeping that workflow moving so they can see that they're getting taken care of, if I didn't feel that I had to do that, I really would have stayed home today and just done more YouTube videos. But this business is my main source of income. You know, YouTube is very, very tiny for me. It is not something that's paying me enough to just let my property managers be disappointed. My number one goal always has to be to keep the work moving along, to keep the communication lines open, and make sure that they always feel that they've got a professional taking care of their houses. So that's what I'm out doing today. But, you know, it's not even 2 o'clock in the afternoon yet, so I'm going to get home with a little bit of time, and I am going to get some content out to y'all today. So that's my handyman journal for the day. You know, it's not been a bad day. I did have some AC, but I hope y'all are out there killing it, and we'll see you on the next one.